What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Happy Thanksgiving. My name is Michael Train, artist and owner of Train and Vein Tattoos in Salina, Kansas. And today I want to talk about tattoo cost and how to choose a tattoo artist and just where to begin with that and what it means to be a tattoo artist versus a tattooist. There is a huge difference, so if you're interested, stay tuned and we'll get right into it. So first, I want to talk about tattoo cost. I charge about $120 an hour, and that's kind of a typical rate here around Kansas. Depending on where you go, what state, and what shop, the person's reputation, that's just kind of what I base my prices off of when I'm working on bigger pieces. So what that price entails is my drawing time and setup time and teardown time, that all gets included into that price as well. So you're not just paying for the tattoo time, but you're paying for this extra time it takes. Everything from the paperwork to taking out the trash, from the start to finish. So when you hear $120 an hour, and if that sounds crazy to you, then you need to realize there's a lot of things that go into account for that. And if you're working at another shop, often you're only getting 50% of what you make. So what that means is if you do a $100 tattoo and I charge $100, then I would have to turn around and give to my boss $50, half of what I made, and that's just kind of how that works. So really, when it comes down to it, if you're a good artist, you're probably using good supplies. And as far as, needles and machines and all the products that I use all very reputable brands, very high dollar. So these things all add up. And so you need to understand that. And then another huge thing you're paying for is that tattoo artist's knowledge over bloodborne pathogens and cross-contamination. That is a huge risk you're taking with getting a tattoo, is contracting something like staph, MRSA, hepatitis. These are all things that can be contracted while getting a tattoo. If the tattoo artist is not knowledgeable on these topics, such as a tattooist is not going to be educated on these topics unless they went out of their way and went above and beyond and did their own research. Then they're not going to be required by the state, like a licensed tattoo artist is, to stay on top of these topics. And yearly, or at least it's every 2 years for us here in Kansas, we have to renew our bloodborne pathogens and retake that course to stay up to date on all that. So that is what you're paying for, is that tattoo artist's knowledge over bloodborne pathogens, cross-contamination, and skin diseases. The biggest thing you're paying for, though, is the artist's experience. How long they've been at it, how long they've been working on their craft and perfecting it, how many years have they been at it. And so if you're paying only $50 an hour, there's probably a reason why you're paying only $50 an hour, and that's obviously because that artist does not have very much experience and is not at the level to charge $120, $200, $300 an hour. Now, how do you know if you're overpaying for a tattoo? Well, look at people's work. compare people's prices. You can get usually a quote or an hourly rate from most artists will give you that information if you ask them. So say I charge about $120 an hour, and you could call up to any other shop and find out what they charge. And then you can get a good idea of pricing for tattoos. Now I want to talk about what's the difference between a tattooist and a tattoo artist. A tattooist is somebody that thinks that tattooing was gonna be an easy, cool, fun job, so they got themselves a tattoo kit and they started tattooing people. Or maybe they ordered some nice supplies, but they don't really have experience with art. They weren't a painter, they weren't a drawer, they didn't do any kind of graphic designing or anything like that. They just thought that they could be a tattoo artist. And those are what you call tattooists. You can usually find them in basements. Sorry, I gotta laugh at my own jokes sometimes. So anyways, tattooists, but you can also find them in tattoo shops. And it's very sad when you see it, but it happens all the time, believe it or not. So the biggest thing is, look at people's work. Compare people's work. Get online. If they don't have an online portfolio at this point in time, then you should not go to that person. That's just my personal opinion. But, not everybody's caught up with the world. Anyways, so that is a tattooist. A tattooist is not who you want to go get a tattoo by. A tattoo artist is somebody that has spent years working and developing and harnessing a craft. And for me, I've been at it since I was 16 years old. That's over half my lifetime. I've been at it just for tattooing. I've been drawing and painting since I was a little kid. It's not something that happens overnight. A lot of people want to say that I'm very talented, but really what it is, hard work. And I've put a lot of it in. And I do it day in and I do it day out. And that's what a real tattoo artist does. They care about their craft. They work hard at it to improve every day, every single tattoo. It doesn't matter. They care about what they're doing genuinely, and they love making art. That's what a tattoo artist is. So definitely when you're seeking out for a tattoo, your next tattoo, figure out who's a tattooist and who's a tattoo artist, and then go from there. Unless you don't care what it looks like, then just walk into a shop and see if you can get a walk-in and just see how it turns out. Maybe you'll get lucky. It's usually an apprentice that is going to do those walk-ins for you. So I'm sure they'll make you aware of that, but sometimes they don't. So anyways, that is all I really wanted to share with you guys today. Just the difference between a tattooist and a tattoo artist, and a little bit about cost. So if you guys have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to know. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. I'll be putting out new content weekly, so definitely hit that subscribe button, and we will see you in the next video.